Just wanted to give you a look at these baby goldfish. They're coming up about 2 weeks old, and I'm really happy. I've managed to get a green water setup going in the tank here with the introduction of like this really high powered LED light. It's rated daylight, and it is one of my kind of professional photography lights. So really good, bright, strong daylight rated light, and I have it on kind of 12 to 14 hours a day. I kind of lowered it down in the evenings, and it has 2 sets of color bulbs on it, so I can make it kind of sunset and sunrise in the mornings as well, to kind of just make things a little bit more kind of natural feeling rather than blasting them with a big bright light. I can ramp it up as well slowly over the course of the day. You can see these guys are chewing away in the baby brine fish or baby brine shrimp even. But the great thing about the green algae is it's essentially like a superfood that they can kind of filter feed on throughout the day. So it's just pure protein, great for colouring up your goldfish. And you can see there are a lot of them here, bit over 110. So yeah, I'll be having to shift some of these out pretty soon, because even though I've got an overrated sponge filter there, it's not doing a whole lot because of the regular amount of water changes I'm doing. I have my kind of little TDS meter as well, and I'm able to keep an eye on what the total dissolved solids are to make sure that it's not building up over the course of the day. And I'm measuring it coming out of the tap, I'm measuring it in the tank regularly, and I'm just using that to see how much stuff is kind of breaking down in the water, and I'm really just not letting it creep up over 1 or 2 parts per million total dissolved solids. I'm really keeping the water at a nice even kind of clean balance. But it's awesome to get the green algae in the water, the green water, because like I was saying, superfood, really good for your fish. It's hard to do when you're doing really frequent water changes. Now, to get the green algae, what I done was I went from kind of my regular kind of 80-90% water changes a couple of times a day to more frequent 50% water changes. So I was leaving a little bit more of the water that was developing the algae in it, but I was doing more frequent water changes. So overall the water chemistry is still as clean as it was. It's just that I'm not removing all of the algae that's building up over the course of a few hours in one go, and then trying to get that fresh water to kind of develop that again. It's leaving a little bit more and just making sure that I'm doing a really good clean on it. Like I just only just a moment ago done a siphon on this, and to be honest with you, most of the stuff that's on the bottom is actually baby brine shrimp, but there are some little poops, because these guys, that's what they do best. They make a mess, and that's what baby goldfish do. So yeah, so just wanted to give you a quick look anyway. Got green water going here, and the baby goldfish are doing absolutely super for it. I'm gonna have to come up with a setup now to get these moved into, because there's no way that they're gonna be able to stay in this much longer, and they are still far too small to go into the pond. And they're only 2 weeks old. I wouldn't put them in the pond until they were like 5-6 weeks anyway. Like the other batch, at 5 weeks they went in. There was only like 24 of them went in. I held back on, no, 25 actually. I held back onto a couple of them because there was one that wasn't grown really well, one without a tail, and Matt Damon, the little Matt guy, he is just a little bit small. So, and I just wanted to keep an eye on them, let them grow on inside in the warmer tank. So we'll give them a little bit of extra TLC before we can get them out. But these guys, yeah, they've got a while to go, but like, look at the size of them for 2 weeks. They're doing super. Everybody seems to be in really good shape. I don't see any defects. The seed was strong with Krang and the panda. 2 awesome fish, 2 of my favorites, so really happy. Now there are about 10-15 maybe kind of other fish that aren't from Krang and the panda mixed in with these guys as well. And I have another tank that probably has about 20 goldfish in it, and they're only a couple of days old, and there's just a plant that I threw in there today with maybe 20-30 eggs in it, and I think they might be from the pearl scale, so excited to see how that goes. She was huge yesterday, and today she's normal size. She was kind of floating a little bit funny, and yeah, just looked like as if she had a bit of a morning. So I have a feeling she was, after releasing eggs, the guys were giving her a hard time this morning before I got up and fed them. So that'll be another 40-50 babies maybe, so that'll bring my grand total up to close to 200 now at the moment, or thereabouts. Oh, and there's a blue tub out the back as well that I threw a bunch of plants into, and that has just tons of baby goldfish swimming around it. Now that's not heated, it's much cooler. The water's probably only about 10, 11, 12 degrees in it at the most. But that tub had tons of infusoria and tiny copepods and worms and stuff like that. I was actually thinking about pulling some of them for my own fish, but then when I started getting baby goldfish popping up, I said I'd leave them be and let them stay there and feed on the baby goldfish that are out there. So I'll probably get an outdoor tank set up and move them into that and grow them on in that over the winter. And I'm thinking about maybe drilling a tank and having the water, the runoff from the raised pond, which the water running out of that is at about 18 degrees, having that run into a tank and then out of that tank again, and away, and that water moving through would keep it basically create another tank at 18 degrees or thereabouts, without any heat required, which would be super. And I wouldn't need to add any filtration, any extra oxygenation. That water coming out of there is actually, it's good water. It's just I have a constant turnover in that pond, because it's heavily stocked with big fish and babies, which I'm growing on. And yeah, you can see here I just got some duckweed up above here as well. That stuff is just providing a little bit of a filtration in itself and somewhere for the fish to hang around and chill out as well. There's two batches, there's one there and one down the end as well. It just kind of gets pushed to the edges by the pond. And you can see there kind of there's little bits that get stuck on the filter, and they will kind of, their roots will break off and they look like little hairs flying around the place as well. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's the baby goldfish. I'm gonna get a setup going now over the next couple of days where I can move a bunch of these out. Part of me was thinking about putting a floating basket in the pond with a net in it and moving them in, because you know what, they'd grow so well out there. And any bits of food that get through that net trap would also be good for the other baby goldfish and the minnows and the big fish. So thinking about that, we'll see how it goes, but it wouldn't be a long-term plan to keep them in there, because it just wouldn't be big enough to sustain another 100 and odd fish. But yeah, 2-week-old baby goldfish, green water setup, lots of light, good strong bright light, 12 to 14 hours a day, summer light conditions for these guys. And yeah, they are grown super well, super strong and in great form. So yeah, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.